So today we will be talking about anaerobic respiration, and the learning objectives are to state the word equation for anaerobic respiration and to know the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So as you saw on the title page, there were pictures of athletes in the Olympics. And so how are sports and anaerobic respiration related? So what is anaerobic respiration? It is a type of respiration that does not need oxygen. So there are two types of respiration. The first one is aerobic respiration and the other is anaerobic respiration. So an means without. So there is aerobic respiration and an is added in the front because it means without. So anaerobic respiration means respiring without air. So aerobic means with air. Anaerobic respiration takes place when there is not enough oxygen for aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration transfers energy from glucose, and aerobic respiration does too, and aerobic respiration actually transfers more energy from glucose than anaerobic respiration. The lactic acid produced by anaerobic respiration can cause painful cramps in your muscles. So maybe after you exercise, you feel cramps in your muscles. That is because of the lactic acid building up by anaerobic respiration because you ran out of oxygen for aerobic respiration, that you started using anaerobic respiration. So the word equation of anaerobic respiration is glucose is lactic acid and energy. Glucose is the reactant, and the lactic acid and the energy are the products. Aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a chemical reaction of oxygen and glucose to transfer the energy in the food. Aerobic means with air. Aerobic respiration produces water and carbon dioxide instead of lactic acid if it was anaerobic respiration. It transfers more energy from glucose than anaerobic respiration. And there is a process in aerobic respiration called oxygen depth. When extra oxygen is inhaled, it breaks down lactic acid, and that causes cramps. Do other living things respire anaerobically? Yes, they do. In animals, they respire aerobically when they need lots of energy quickly. For example, when a fox chases a rabbit, or when any animal chases its prey. And plants respire anaerobically too. They respire anaerobically when there is no oxygen available in their surroundings. For example, roots in waterlogged soils. It is hard to find oxygen in waterlogged soils. So fermentation is a type of anaerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration is a type of respiration, and fermentation is a type of anaerobic respiration. So ethanol and carbon dioxide are produced instead of lactic acid in some microorganisms. This means not every microorganisms produce lactic acid by anaerobic respirations, but instead they produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. So the word equation is glucose is ethanol plus carbon dioxide and energy. So yeast is a good example of fermentation, of a microorganism that uses fermentation, and it is needed to make bread, beer, and wine, as we will talk later about. It is very important in food production because a lot of food is made of yeast. How do you make bread? So to make bread, to make the dough for the bread, you need to mix flour, water, and yeast. And then the carbohydrates in the flour are fermented into ethanol and carbon dioxide. This means the produced gas are trapped in the dough, which makes the dough rise. because of all the gases building up. So it's like a balloon blowing up. So ethanol is evaporated and bread is made. How do you make beer and wine? Beer, in beer, sugar and barley grain is fermented into alcohol. And same with wine, sugar and grapes are fermented into alcohol because beer is made of barley grain and sugar is made of grapes. No, I meant wine is made of grapes. The difference between aerobic and anaerobic respirations. So, aerobic respiration respires with oxygen, while anaerobic respiration respires without oxygen, and aerobic respiration produces carbon dioxide, while anaerobic respiration produces lactic acid and energy. Aerobic respiration produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And aerobic respiration transfers more energy from glucose than anaerobic respiration, and in anaerobic respiration transfers less energy from glucose than aerobic respiration. So here are a few interesting facts. The reason why your muscles get sore after you exercise is because the lactic acid builds up in your muscles from anaerobic respiration. So when you exercise and you run out of breath, you start respiring anaerobically, which produces lactic acid, which starts to build up in your muscles, like I said before, and this will start to hurt. And this is why your muscles get sore. And another interesting fact is that there are over 500 species of yeast. So, back to the first question I asked, how are sports and anaerobic respiration related? The answer is, like the examples I've given you, for example, like with the fox and the rabbit, anaerobic respiration is used in animals when they need a lot of energy really fast, and that's pretty similar to humans. So when they exercise and they can't breathe any more oxygen, they respire anaerobically, so without oxygen, and that is how they are related. The end. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.